Hello, students. Now, this is problem 37 from Newton's Laws of Motion, Pathfinder for Physics Olympiad and JEE Advanced. Again, it is a three-block system for involving friction force between the two between all the blocks given as the coefficient of friction equals to mu, and the floor is a frictionless surface. The three blocks A, B, C are shown in the figure, in which the block A and block C are connected by the ideal string passing over the ideal pulley, which is pulled by the force of capital F. There is friction between all the blocks. That means between A and B, between B and C, and the coefficient of friction is similar, mu. Masses of each blocks are identical given as small m. Now we have to find out what is the acceleration of the bar B. Now, before you try to find out the acceleration of bar B, it is very essential to draw the free body diagrams. So if I draw the free body diagram in this question, then first of all, this force F will be divided in the tension on the two threads which are passing over the pulley. So if I denote tension in the threads as capital T and capital T, and this is an ideal pulley, which is a massless object. So since this pulley is ideal, which is a massless object, it must have a net force equal to 0. And for that reason, these two forces, which are 2T and F, they must be equal. So first of all, you will write that F equals to 2T because the pulley is ideal and the forces on the ideal pulleys are always balanced since it has no mass. And for any massless object, we always balance the forces on the object, irrespective whether the object is at rest or the object is accelerating. Now the free body diagram, if we draw the free body diagram, then the forces present on the objects will be like this. First of all, the force will be a tension force will be present on the block A, which is capital T equals to F by 2. Another tension force will be on the block C, again capital T equals to F by 2. These two forces will try to pull the objects A and C. And when these two forces will try to pull the objects A and B, the friction between the object A and B and the object B and C will try to oppose this relative motion. And therefore, the friction force on the block A exerted by the block B must be on the left side, and I denote it by F1. Similarly, the friction by the block B on the block C will also be to the left side and F2. So these are the frictions which are on A and on B, and they are on A and on C, and these are exerted by the block B. As we know that forces always exist in the pair according to the Newton third law. So if a block B exert friction force F1 on the block A towards left side, then the reaction of this friction force F1 on the block B must be towards the right side, and it should be equal in magnitude, that is F1. So now this F1 will be on B and by the block A. Similarly, the reaction of friction force F2, which is on the block C towards left side, will be towards right on the block B and denoted by F2. So now this is the friction on B, which is exerted by the block C. Okay. So now these are the free body diagram. Apart from the normal reaction forces, there will be normal reaction forces on A, B, C and all, but that I am not drawing in this figure. You can draw the normal reaction forces on the block A, on the block B, and on the block C. In such questions, first of all, we will always look for the possibilities. And the fundamental nature of friction force is to oppose the relative motion. What does it mean? That if there is a friction between the blocks, then under the limiting conditions, up to a certain limiting value, the friction force between the two blocks or three blocks will always try or will always tend that all the three blocks move as a single unit, because that is the very fundamental nature of friction force. It does not allow relative motion between the blocks. So until the frictional forces are less than their limiting values, the three blocks can move as a single unit or they can move as a single block. So looking for the first possibility in this question, there is a first possibility because we do not have the numerical values of the force. So we have to work with the possibility. So possibility number one is that all three blocks move as one unit, move as a single unit. What does that mean? If they move as a single unit, that means you can consider all the three blocks as a single block of mass 3m. And when I will consider all the three blocks as a single block of mass 3m, then the internal forces F1 and F1, F2 and F2, they are cancelled. And the only external force, we all know that in the Newton's second law equation, which says that the sum of all external forces, it must be equal to the mass of the body multiplied by the acceleration. So when you consider all three blocks as a single system, as a unit, the frictional forces F1 and F1, which are appearing in pair in the opposite direction, they are cancelled out. F2, F2 are cancelled out. And so we can simply find out the acceleration of the entire system as the total external force, which is F by 2 is the external force in this case. And this F by 2 is also external force in this case. So the total external force will be capital F, and the total mass as a single unit will be divided by 3m. So this is the acceleration of system if friction is successful in preventing the relative motion between the blocks. If friction is successful in preventing relative motion between the blocks, all three blocks will move as a single unit, and in that case the acceleration can be easily obtained by the external force divided by the total mass of system. Now we have to check up to which value of capital F the friction will be successful in preventing the relative motion. We have to look the value of capital F up to which the friction can prevent the slipping motion. And how can we do it? Now, if I use Newton law for block A separately. So if you write down equation of Newton law for the block A alone, considering block A now. So considering the block A, just look at the diagram. This block A is under two forces. One is F by 2 to the right side, and one is the friction force F1 to the left side. So for this block A, I can write down the equation as F by 2 minus that friction force F1 equal to its mass m into acceleration A. But this acceleration will be substituted as F over 3m. So if I substitute it F over 3m, if you substitute the value of A as F over 3m, you get F equal to 6 times of F1. You get F equal to 6 times of F1. And we know that this friction force F1, its limiting value, if you find the limiting value, this friction has to be less than or equal to, according to the law of static friction forces, this friction will always be less than equals to the coefficient of friction mu and the normal reaction force which will be present between the blocks A and B. And the normal force present between the blocks A and B can be easily written as weight of the block A, which is mg, which means friction force F1 cannot exceed mu m1g value. So if this friction force has a limit of a mu mg, obviously this capital F has a limiting value. This capital F has to be less than equals to 6 times of mu mg. Similarly, if I write down the Newton law equation for the block B, block C, then that block C, look at the block C now. That block C has a force capital F by 2 to the right side, and it has a friction force F2 to the left side. So similar working can be done for block C also. That is F by 2 minus that friction force F2 will be now mass into acceleration A, where again this acceleration A equals to F upon 3m is substituted here. And after doing this, we get F equal to 6 times F2. But the limit of F2, if you check the limit of F2, how large F2 can be. So if F2 should be less than equals to mu. And now for this F2, we have to consider the normal reaction force, which is between the block B and block C. And with a sensible observation, you can find out that the normal reaction force between the block B and block C will be 2 times of mg. Right? So this force F, from this step, you get the force F as the force F less than equals to 12 mu mg. But since we have considered all the three blocks as a system, they are moving as a single unit, we have to consider the intersection part of these two inequalities. So this is inequality, this is inequality 1, and now we have another inequality 2. And if we consider the intersection part of these two inequalities, we get f less than equal to 6 mu mg. That means as long as capital F is less than or equal to 6 mu mg, as long as applied force capital F is less than or equals to mu mg, both the frictional forces will be successful in preventing the relative motion between the blocks. And now all the three blocks can move as a single unit with the acceleration calculated as F over 3m. Right? Now, this is possibility number 1. And this possibility will hold successful. This possibility will be true. It will be in real practice if the applied force F is less than equals to 6 times mu mg. But the question is now, what will happen if we apply a force F which is more than 6 mu mg? Notice that there is a relation between capital F and small f1. And from that relation, it will be very obvious that if you increase capital F, that frictional force F1 will also increase. It's very obvious. F1 and capital F, they are proportional. So if we increase the applied force capital F, F1 will also increase. And similarly, if you increase the force capital F, F2 will also increase. But F2 has more limiting value than the frictional force F1. This frictional force F1 has a lesser limit. Frictional force F2 has a larger limit. So therefore, as we increase this capital F, the frictional force F1 will first attain the limiting value before the frictional force F2 attains the limiting value. F1 will attain the limiting value before F2 attains the limiting value. And that will happen when capital F is exceeding this value 6 mu mg. So if I apply a force, now the possibility number 2. Now the possibility number 2 arises when the applied force F is more than 6 mu mg. Remember what is going to happen now. When the force will be more than 6 mu mg, in this case, the free body diagrams will still remain same, F by 2 and F by 2. Frictional force F1 on the block A to the left side and the reaction of F1 on the block B to the right side. Frictional force F2 on the block C will be on the left side and the frictional force F2 on the block B on the right side. But what will happen when you increase the value of F beyond 6 mu mg, this F1 reached the limiting value. And when the F1 force reaches the limiting value, it cannot increase further. That means the frictional force F1 will be now a constant value equal to the limiting value. And notice F2 will be still less than the limiting value. So when the force F is more than 6 mu mg, you can consider frictional force F1 to be kinetic now. This frictional force F1 will now be a kinetic friction force, and it can be simply written as mu into normal reaction force, which value is mu mg. This frictional force will be mu mg. So here also friction force F1 will be mu mg because that is same force. And now the relative motion will start. In this case, slipping start hoga. Slipping will start between the blocks A and B. So that means now A and B cannot be considered as a single system. So you have to consider them separately. You have to consider the blocks separately. So this block A will now move separately. It will no longer be the part of system. So block A, motion of block A will be now a separate motion because it is slipping with respect to block B. So this is moving under a force F by 2 and the frictional force F1, which is now kinetic. It has reached the limiting value and now it will be converted into the kinetic friction force, which is mu times mg. Whereas the other blocks, which are B and C, still they can move as a single unit. Since frictional force F2 is less than the limiting value, there is again a possibility that the block B and block C are now moving as one unit. And if I look for the forces on these two blocks, then there is a frictional force F1 on the block B in the forward direction given by mu mg. There is force F by 2 on the block C in the forward direction. There is frictional force F2 on the block C to the left side and F2 on the block B on the right side. So now A1 is out of the system, but still there is a possibility that the block B and block C can still prevent the relative slipping due to the larger limit of frictional force F2. Due to larger limit of frictional force F2, there is a possibility that block B and block C can still prevent their relative slipping and they can still move as unit. In this case, acceleration as a unit, you can find out the acceleration as a unit. And the unit is of block B and C. If block B and C, the friction between block B and C, if that friction can prevent the slipping between B and C, we can consider the block B and C as a single unit under the external force of. Now look, if B and C are considered as a single unit, F2 forces are now internal forces because they are cancelled with, and the external forces are mu mg, which is the friction by block A, because now block A is not the part of the system. So the force by block A will be considered as the external force plus capital F by 2, which was the force by the string. This is the total force on this unit divided by the mass of entire unit is now 2m. And if I write for block C, if you write Newton law motion equations for the block C, then the block C is under a force of F upon 2 towards right side and small f2, which is the frictional force to the left side, and the divided, and it will be divided by the mass of block C, which is m. So this is the acceleration of block C now. But since block C and block B are moving as a unit, and therefore the acceleration obtained by considering them as a single unit or the acceleration obtained by considering them as separate blocks, both accelerations has to be equal. If B and C are moving with the same accelerations and we obtain their acceleration by considering them as a single unit, and also we obtain their acceleration by considering them separate blocks, then the accelerations obtained by the two methods cannot be different values, they has to be equal values. So if I equate these two values, if you equate these two values, when you equate these two values and you put the limit of frictional force F2, equate and put limit of frictional force F2, which is this limit. Remember F2, the limit of F2, that is the highest possible value of F2 was 2 times of mu mg. So if you substitute that limit of F2 in these two expressions and then you equate capital F, you get capital F, limit of capital F equal to 10 mu mg. What does it mean? Just go back now. How the blocks will move, whether they will move as a unit or there will be slipping between the two blocks, it all depends upon the applied value, on the magnitude of applied force. Up to a certain value of applied force, all the three blocks can successfully prevent their relative slipping, and they all three can move as a unit. The limit of that force capital F was 6 mu mg. Once we cross that limit of 6 mu mg, there will be a relative motion, and the first relative motion will occur between the blocks A and block B, because the friction between block A and block B has a lesser limit than the friction between the block B and block C. So first relative motion will be between A and B, and that will happen when this applied force capital F is more than 6 mu mg. After that, for the force which is more than 6 mu mg, block A is now slipping over block B. So we have considered block A as a separate object, and the friction force on block B applied by the block A, which is equal to mu mg due to the kinetic behavior. It is possible that this friction force mu mg along with this force capital F by 2 can drive the system of B and C together without a relative motion, and considering them as a single unit, we find this acceleration. And we are free to choose, we are free to find the acceleration of system by considering entire system or by considering separate blocks. So first I find the acceleration of B and C considering them as a single unit, and then I find the acceleration of block C in a separate way. But these two accelerations has to be equal. And in that expression, when you substitute the limit of F2 force, which is 2 mu mg, then you get the limit of capital F, which is 10 mu mg. That means up to the force of 10 mu mg, block B and block C will move as a single unit. And then acceleration will be this one. This term will be acceleration of block B as well as block C. Now, the third possibility. The possibility number 3 in this question is, what will happen when the applied force F is more than 10 mu mg? Now, in this case, block A, which was under a force F by 2, and block C, which was under a force F by 2, along with the frictional forces F1 and F2 on these blocks. Reaction of those frictional forces on the block B, F1 and F2. Now, when the force exceeds 10 mu mg, slipping will occur, slipping between A and B, as well as there will be a slipping between block B and block C. In this case, we cannot consider all the three blocks as single unit because they are slipping with respect to each other, and therefore we have to find the acceleration of each block considering them separately. So if I look for the block B, because we have to find out acceleration of the block B only, so considering block B and looking for the forces on this block are F1 and F2. Both these frictional forces have crossed their limiting values, and therefore they can be written as the value of kinetic friction force mu into normal, and the value of kinetic friction force F2 is mu into normal reaction force between the block B and C, which was 2 mg. So these two forces are present on the block B, whose mass is given as small m, and therefore acceleration of this block B now will be total force is 3 mu mg and divided by the mass m, and that means 3 mu g. So this is the acceleration of block B. Right? This was a very beautiful question involving concept of friction force between multi-block system under some external forces, and that means the whole idea for this question is up to a certain value of F, the entire system will move as a single unit, and then as you go on increasing force capital F, relative motion will start between a pair of blocks. In this question, the relative motion first begins between A and B, and then after a certain more value of force, the relative motion between block B and C also starts. And those limits are 6 mu mg and 10 mu mg. Right. Thank you and take care. Bye bye.